So, everyone who's listening right now, we're currently doing some research on Keanu Reeves' wife, and we're trying to figure out if she's been hot in an earlier life. Alex, do you have like any kind of insight for us already on that?
Well, I just remembered I saw her in some sort of interview thing with Liam Neeson,
Okay.
and he just said that at some point back in the days when they were shooting a movie, I don't even know, she came walking towards him and his buddy,
Hmm.
and his only reaction was "fuck." Uh, I guess it's good, but I know none of these movies. I mean, apparently she's been in the newest Fast and Furious, which I didn't watch because they're shit.
Hmm.
But some older movies I never heard of. Cal from 1984. I don't know. Trumbo. I heard of that one, but I haven't watched it. Woman in Gold. I don't know. It just seems like nah.
Yeah.
I'm just confused how Keanu and her even ended up. But yeah.
What a
Also, a
what a
great topic
mystery.
to start that stream, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, sure. I mean, look, I'm tired of the old intro shit. Let's just do like cold open and whatever. So let's go the most awkward and creepy route there is. Why is
Yes,
there?
especially the cringy route. I like that one.
That's
Let's
very.
just see if this old lady was hot at some point. That's a great thing to start a
All
stream
right,
with.
whenever we're gonna do like a stream, we always trying to make girls more beautiful again. That's a new message from Red Smoke. Fuck this whole like self improvement thing and masculinity. All that. We just gonna check out if old girls looked good when they were young.
I made a
That's it.
dreadful mistake typing in her name and hot into Google, and then I got a bikini shot of her at her age. That was not nice. So I'm gonna close that, and we just proceed with the movie.
And we already learned something for today.
Yes, that was a mistake.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah, welcome back to Red Smoke, everybody. It's episode 28. The Keanu Reeves weeks continue, and by that I mean I think this is gonna be the last stream on Keanu Reeves, because like what kind of other movies we're gonna talk. You were mentioning before the stream started that he did a bunch of movies in the past years, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm just checking, researching again. This
Mm,
time on Keanu
mm.
Reeves. What he actually.
Don't
Oh
don't
yeah, we
type in
also did.
Keanu Reeves hot on
No,
Google.
no,
Just,
no, no. No, I'm not gonna make this mistake again. But why is Wikipedia so stupid, man? I just want the filmography. There we go. All right. So the recent years, SpongeBob movie. Okay, let's just strike
Okay.
that one
I
off.
have a topic for episode 29, man. Let's do a 5 hour special in-depth discussion and like symbolism in the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah. So he did like 5 movies, some of which were just producer or voiceover in 2019 alone. That's kind of crazy. 3 in 2018, 4 in 2017. So he's been busy, man, making
Also, I'm
movies.
not much into games, and by that I mean I absolutely not in the slightest way. But even I heard that he did like this cyberpunk 2077
All right, yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that
I actually saw that clip. I gotta be honest. The hype they created around this with him coming on stage, that was
crazy,
a
right?
great
Crazy.
marketing move. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like even I, who doesn't have anything to do with games, even I heard about this stuff, and even I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm interested. I actually looked up like scenes online, like cut scenes, and I just wanted to see it, And yeah, excellent marketing shit there. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I also have no idea what this game is even about, like in the remotest sense.
Probably
No
about
clue.
cyberpunk, as far as
Yeah,
I
I
know.
guess something like that. But yeah, his character actually looked quite cool. I saw that. So yeah, well done. Also, it was just great to choose Keanu Reeves for that because he's just a cool dude in the nerd scene, isn't he? Like because of Matrix and now John Wick, obviously.
Like how many people do you know that actually say and actually mean it? I just hate Keanu Reeves.
Yes, exactly.
Like he's this kind of person. Like everyone just loves him. It's
Yes,
really
absolutely.
crazy, and it's something that's very rare nowadays. Like everyone is like, oh yeah, there's like this group of people who really like him, but there's also like he has a lot of haters. is there like a single fucking hater of Keanu Reeves on this planet? It's like, I don't like this person at all. It's
That's a great question.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because
man.
I don't think so. If anything, someone would be like, yeah, okay, this guy, whatever.
Right.
But nobody's really hating him because why would you? Like, there's not really a reason to, is there?
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy. He does something right.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Also, he's been making movies for 30 years. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
like you've seen Speed, probably.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. I think this was like his first big movie. I could be wrong. Of course, but it's
I'm just
interesting.
checking, but yeah.
It's interesting which kind of journey he took through Hollywood, because looking at Speed, he could have easily become like this kind of rom-com star,
Yeah.
where it could be like some fucking new John Cusack or stuff like that. You know, I could easily see him in that role, and then Matrix happened, and he became a much more serious actor. Even though after Matrix, it was like he was completely vanished. He did like Constantine. We reviewed that as well, and then yeah, John Wick gave him identity, I would say. Yeah.
You say he vanished, but he actually did make movies. I'm just checking.
But were there like good movies?
No,
I just
that's the
can't,
point.
Yeah, I just can't remember anything
Yeah.
after Matrix. The only one I remember is like Constantine. He also did like some romance movie with Sandra Bullock. The name I don't remember. That's it. I just don't remember any other Keanu. Everyone was like, yeah, Keanu Reeves here, but how many movies do we actually know? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if I tell you the names, I've never actually heard of them. Like Thumbsucker,
No.
A Scanner Darkly, The Lake House.
Yeah, the Lake
Great
House is
Woman.
the Lake House is the one I was referring to.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
one. Yeah,
it's
you're
like a
right, you're right.
romance shit movie, a chick flick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantasy romance drama. Oh God. Okay. Street Kings. Never heard of this. Oh God, I forgot about this one. In 2008, he did The Day the Earth Stood Still. Remember this movie?
I think I saw it on the TV once, but it's like
Yeah.
it's like I have like very weird fever dream like memories about that movie. So.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the weirdest movies I ever watched. And he just played himself with not having any sort of facial gestures at all, just because he was an alien in the movie. I remember that, but it was quite funny.
Yeah, that's
he
a
was
bit
just being himself.
That's a little bit the thing. I was actually postponing this discussion. We talked about this before the stream actually started, and I was like, yeah, many people criticize Keanu Reeves for his acting abilities, and of course there are like roles like John Wick where it's really suited for a guy who doesn't really need to have like much facial expression. It wouldn't make much sense for the character of John Wick to like cry every 5 minutes and then like laugh very hard. He's like a stoic serial killer who has killed maybe 1,000 people. He's not gonna be much of a joy. But yeah, people criticize him. Do you share this criticism? Would you say Keanu Reeves is a bad actor?
No, I don't think. Like, I mean, the term bad actor is quite broad in my opinion. There's a lot that goes into that. Judge someone as a bad actor. And I would agree that he's this kind of person who just doesn't have. He's not very expressive in what he does.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're looking for an actor that is that, who is just very, very on screen, which has a lot of presence, then I think he's not that. But he still works in these kind of movies, you know, like John Wick or The Matrix, even where he's that accountant guy. Especially, it was quite funny because we talked about it. In The Matrix, they have the sunglasses, and I don't think it made a difference to his facial expressions. It's not like you could see anything in his eyes.
At least made him look even cooler, you know, even more stoic.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this, I think, last week, that actually Will Smith was considered to be the role of Neo.
Yes.
You know? And I'm like, you know, when I think of Will Smith, he's like a very, I think he's like the complete opposite of Keanu Reeves. A very, he likes to express himself sometimes in a very bad way. But
I don't know what
but yeah, he's an actor who say, wow, he's like really. I don't know if the term extrovert actor makes any sense, but that's what I'm trying to say. He's a very
Yes.
extrovert actor, and like imagining him being in the Matrix, I can't really. No, no.
Yeah, I mean, he said it himself. Will Smith said that he's actually quite glad he didn't take the role in the end because imagine him being Neo. He laughed about that, and I agree. It would have been kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a great actor, and he like
Yeah, of course.
I watched I Am Legend, and he absolutely killed it, man. It's
Yes.
he got this fucking movie on his shoulders. He was like the only actor in this whole movie, and he completely. I was entertained for 2 hours. Not many actors can pull this off. So
That's true.
not much, but I'm just like, nah, I think Keanu Reeves was the perfect role for this. If they were to remake The Matrix, which is gonna happen, I mean, not like I'm not talking about The Matrix 4, but like a complete reboot, which is gonna happen soon in the next years. I would be like, no Matrix without Keanu Reeves. It's not working. You know?
Yeah, well, I guess if we proceed with the themes we currently do, then this would be a female protagonist, I guess. Yeah. And the female Morpheus, and then we have it.
Didn't you say his wife used to be an actor?
Yeah, oh yeah, right. That's true, she was.
Oh my god.
Or maybe is still, I don't know, but yeah.
But yeah,
To answer your question there, I do think that Keanu Reeves is a great actor. I do think so. It's just not, he's just not very expressive. So probably not the regular kind of actor, but if he has the proper role,
yeah.
like John Wick or Matrix, then it works absolutely fine.
I mean, if the job is, hey, dude, look, we have this like fucking serial killer, and you have to be like really stoic. I don't want to see any expression in your
Yes.
eyes. and if that's a job, he fucking nailed it. You know,
Yes.
fucking nailed it.
I think it
That's
also
all.
worked very well in Constantine because he's this guy wandering between the like heaven and hell, and he's sort of just pissed of it all, and that worked very well. I think.
Yeah, I liked the passive aggressive kind of mood
Yes.
from him. Like he always like being sarcastic about everything, like black humor and all this stuff. I
Yeah.
really loved his character, definitely.
By the way, did you watch 47 Ronin?
I did not.
Me neither.
No.
I just couldn't be bothered. I know it looked stupid to me, to be honest.
Check it out. Yeah, well,
But that's one
Keanu
of his
Reeves.
movies.
Keanu Reeves looks like Keanu Reeves, you know.
Yeah, it was actually the last movie before John Wick came out. Interesting.
And since then, I think he doesn't want to do anything else anymore. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But before we reward ourselves with talking about definitely a good movie when we talk about John Wick 1, we have to stay culturally relevant. And speaking of roles that always new casted, we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Like it's not really something I say, oh yeah, I'm super excited for this movie, but the trailer, it took the internet by storm. Everybody's talking about it on social media and all this stuff. Everybody's hyped. It's gonna come out in 5 months, and the reactions are pretty impressive. We got a like-dislike ratio from almost 1 million likes to only 20,000 dislikes. And I'm talking about the new Batman trailer for the movie The Batman, which is to be come out in March 2022. And Alex, you haven't seen the new trailer yet, right?
Yeah, I intentionally waited for this podcast.
I did not. I intentionally did not. I've seen it myself. I'm not gonna spoil it for you or anything. I don't want you to be biased. We're gonna watch it together now, without sound, of course, because sorry everybody, but this would completely fuck up the copyright thing. We're gonna let the John Wick footage roll in the background, and Alex and I are gonna watch it now. Alex, you got the 2 minute and 38 seconds trailer
Yes,
on your
I
thing,
got it.
right? Okay, put it on mute or like just so that you can hear the sound. And when I say play, press play. And everybody who's listening, or if you're listening later, you can actually do this as well. And so you basically react with us together if you want to. You just open up YouTube, type in the Batman main trailer, and it should be a 2 minute and 38 second long clip. And if I say play, just press play. Okay, now we're gonna do it like this. Okay, Alex, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's check it out. Like I said, I've seen it as well. If you wanna stop anywhere in between the trailer, you can say it, and we're just gonna
Yeah.
stop and talk about it. If there's anything that's capturing your interest. Okay, I got a count of three, and then we're gonna just press play. And 3, 2, 1. It also looks like Blade Runner, doesn't it?
Yeah, I
Kind of
thought for a
feels-
second with
it's
that neon.
absolutely. So this guy is supposed to be. There's supposed to be two villains in this movie, which has worked great for Spider-Man 3, didn't it? And this guy's
Yeah,
supposed to be
I was just gonna say.
the Riddler. I'm familiar with him.
Oh yes, right. I was just realizing it with that question mark. Fears of Tour, that's true.
Yeah. So I finally got the bulletproof thing going
Yeah.
on there. I've seen it.
Did Fox create new suit for him?
Yeah. I did not understand what he said. There's no need to rewind because no one understood him.
Okay.
It's also pretty interesting how you get extremely few shots of Robert Pattinson without the cape.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. People speculating he has some kind of disfigured face, maybe. I don't know.
Kind of weird. Oh. Okay. Yeah, let's stop for a second here. Just
All right. So you also just saw like the red nightclub scene, I guess.
Yes,
All right, that's where we
exactly.
stop. I'm at 1 minute 28 seconds. So
Same.
shoot me what you are thinking.
Yeah, it was just I don't know if I like Robert Pattinson in that role. I'm just gonna say it right away.
Yeah.
It looks. I mean, he does his best job, I guess. But this gothic kind of like eyeliner thing that was going on there in between. I don't know what's that all about. Maybe it has some sort of reason.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I give them props for that. They're gonna try to do a different kind of route there, but and I can also understand it because it might be interesting to see like a younger version of Batman / Bruce Wayne. One thing I have noticed is it just fits to modern times to see like an emotional, unstable Bruce Wayne. You remember
Yeah.
this little scene in the jail cell where he's like, I don't know, he said
Yes.
something unintelligible and just like pushed his fist into the window. It just fits to modern times, of course. But yeah, I've watched this trailer. There's been like another trailer a few weeks or few months before, and the impression I get is like, yeah, emo boy.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Like,
That was my first reaction there. Like,
Yeah,
does he have some sort of emotional issues, or what's going on there? Yeah, and I mean, it's obviously dark again, right? So I guess there's some sort of dark backstory. Do we know the story to at least some degree?
I just hope that they're not gonna do like again another origin story in the beginning. I
Yeah.
really don't want to see Batman's parents die again. Is there any fucking person on this planet who's not familiar with it yet? I just fucking skip it. Yeah, let's get back to it. So as far as
That's
I know,
almost
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
no,
almost a meme like Uncle Ben dying for the 15th time. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah. What could be interesting? I guess it's the case that Andy Serkis or Gollum is probably going to be Alfred. I guess I don't know. It's not really to see, but yeah. Interesting take to see. Completely unnecessary in my opinion, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Also, where do I know this girl from again? This actress. Doesn't ring a bell, but
she's called Zoe Kravitz, and she's gonna be Catwoman in this. And she's gonna portray Catwoman. Where did she?
oh, with the SJW haircut, I get it.
Hmm.
Well, yeah. I mean, sorry, but Anne Hathaway actually did quite a good job with
And
Catwoman.
that's funny. I think the same way, and many people like criticize her for what was it? I think overacting. And I totally don't agree. I totally liked the way she handled the character. Yeah, it was a little bit over the top, but it was in character. You know,
Exactly.
she was like overly seducing, man. But it was never to the point where I was like, yeah, this is annoying, or I don't buy that. I actually liked her character. It was also a little bit of comic relief in a
Yes.
weird way. Totally loved it. She gave the movie, which especially the last movie was like really serious, and she gave it like a little bit of a lighter tone. Yeah.
Yes, I also thought that her being over the top was part of her character to do that intentionally. Like she was playing this over the top kind of seducing woman intentionally
Yeah,
as
yeah.
the character there. So I thought this fit quite well.
Which is basically Catwoman's strength, you know, or at
Yeah,
least one
exactly.
of them.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening in the new movie. I could be wrong, of course, but I don't think they're gonna do like a what's the opposite of a womanizer? Is it like a manizer when a woman does it?
Oh, you mean the other gender?
I
Oh
don't know
God,
what's
that's a good question.
yeah like I like so okay maybe like femme fatale. I don't know what you call
Yeah,
it.
yeah, something
I
like
don't
that.
see her doing it. There's also you probably haven't heard it because I talked in that moment, but Zoe Kravitz's character in the trailer says something like, "Yeah, I don't need any help" and stuff like this. Wow,
Oh God,
wow,
okay, yeah.
haven't heard that in the in the
Yes.
movie yet. So my take is yeah, a strong female character, like very generic, very yeah,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, I
she's like
mean, in this case, it's actually a female character in the origins, right? Catwoman, but they had to put this in again, right? I don't need no man, you know.
yeah, yeah.
It's just like some urge in these people. They
But
need to put it in these movies.
yeah, but I don't want to. I also don't want to watch a Batman movie where if I watch a Batman movie, I'll probably like it because I like Batman, you know. And I
Yeah.
don't want to watch a Batman movie where people come up to him and tell him like how to do stuff and like commanding him around. That's not how I want to watch a Batman movie. It's really weird, man. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, but I gotta be honest. The first 1 minute and 28 seconds didn't move me very much, to be honest. Here, so far, I didn't see anything that would make me go into the cinema. To be honest,
Yeah, and
maybe the last minute does it. I don't
sure.
know.
Let's skip back to 1 minute 20, I would say, and then let's
Okay.
just continue rolling it. It's like a close-up shot of
Yes.
Batman, Robert Pattinson. Okay, I got to count to three, and then we're just gonna press play and watch the rest of the trailer. And if you want to stop in between, just say stop.
Yeah.
And 3, 2, 1, and play.
Sweetheart.
Yeah, totally not seducing, man.
Yeah, absolutely not, right? Okay,
Yeah,
he just doesn't care about bullets.
that's
Something like that.
bullshit. That's
Yeah.
so bullshit. Like even if you have like a bulletproof suit,
Yeah.
you're gonna have like some kind of resistance. You know, what kind
Yes,
of power
exactly.
is behind the shot. It definitely looks like a very emotional Batman, like a very
Yes.
struggling one. Yeah.
Seems like it. Also, is there no woman with long hair in this movie?
Yeah, why, man? That's what. Yeah, Team Anne Hathaway here. Not hashtag
Yes.
not my Catwoman.
Absolutely.
Also, like the Batmobile or Batmobile, it just looks like a normal car.
Yeah, it's just some sort of muscle car, isn't it?
So yeah, what's your initial reaction to seeing now the full trailer?
Okay, so the Batmobile,
All
as
right.
we just said, I don't like that, to be honest. I mean, I like muscle cars, so that's kind of cool. But I mean, is it gonna be some sort of James Bond thing where it just has some gadgets on it?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah, but I still stand by my point that this trailer doesn't make me want to go into that movie. I mean, I would watch it obviously at home, but in the cinema, meh.
Yeah, I was so
Like-
surprised because before I saw before I saw the trailer, I saw the reactions online, and like it was trending on Twitter, and everyone was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
this is gonna be the best movie ever," you know. And then I saw the like-dislike ratio, and like, "Oh my god, people freaking out about this shit." Before I was watching the trailer, I was like, "Yeah, okay, maybe it looks cool, but it's just another Batman movie, you know?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
like when was the last Batman movie? Like last year or 2 years ago? I don't know. So, how many fucking Batman movies do we get in the past 20 years? Like,
Yes.
like, do we really need another one? But yeah, anyways. Then I was watching the trailer. I was like, is it? Is it like check out the comments? People freaking out. It's like, wow, looks amazing. I can't wait for that. It's yeah. People can't wait for March. People can't wait for this movie to drop. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
I'm weird, but it's not really like I say, okay, this is something I have to see, or otherwise I'm gonna freak out.
yeah. Also, this comment, he makes his enemies even more intimidated with that bulletproof suit. Dude, did you see the last Batmobile where it could actually fly?
Right.
I mean, also, I think this scene was cool to look at because it was dark and you just saw the light from the bullets and the guns. That looked cool, but it's stupid.
It's the same with like this light speed maneuver in Star Wars 8, right? It looked
Yeah,
absolutely
exactly.
beautiful. It's spectacularly bullshit.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. Like you can be like as bulletproof as you want, and it could be a very light vest you're wearing, but you're gonna feel some kind of resistance. Otherwise, except you're like some kind of alien, of course.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't make sense. And yeah, you were mentioning in the first break already, Robert Pattinson. We didn't really see much of him, but do you? I mean, if I say, do you think he's gonna nail Batman? It's unfair because everybody has like a different take on Batman. Now we got a new director. He's gonna do a different Batman. 10 years later, there's gonna be another one. You know, so it's hard to
Yeah.
say is he gonna nail the role of Batman. But taking the image of what you have in your mind, what Batman looks like, or Batman should behave like, or stuff like that. Do you think he can nail it?
I mean, it depends, sadly, a whole lot. Oh my god, sadly, but it depends a whole lot on the script, right? I mean, technically, he can nail it. I think Robert Pattinson is actually a good actor if he puts himself into it fully, I would say. So I guess he can do that, but what I really just already don't like is that emotional kind of crap. Now, I don't have anything against emotions, and I think they're a natural part of any human, of course. But do I need this kind of Batman in my life? I don't know. And
Yeah.
but then again, if anyone can pull that off, I guess it's Robert Pattinson. He has some some emotional movies on his back.
Yeah, just like trying to deal with his lifelong trauma of 5 Twilight movies.
Yeah.
It's look, I'm not really against given if the only story mankind was ever able to tell was the Batman story. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get a Batman movie every year, and every year it's gonna be a little bit different. But you know, people are able to also tell like different stories. Imagine that shock. But okay, given the situation, we only have like Batman. So okay, everyone of course is trying to give this character like a different angle. It's okay, we got the ultra realistic angle from Christopher Nolan, of course. Then we got the super comic shit from what was it, Tim Burton or Schumacher, who did like this really crappy 90s.
Oh damn! I forgot about this.
Like the George Clooney, Val Kilmer
Yeah.
things. Yeah, Jesus, we don't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Then we have like the ultra dark Zack Snyder vision, where Batman is like fighting aliens, which absolutely doesn't fit to him as well. But everyone brings like his own vision to it. And here we have Bruce Wayne being like basically an emo kid. We have just a few shots of him like without a cape, but isn't Bruce Wayne supposed to be like a fucking billionaire playboy?
Yes. And even
You
if
know.
he's not a billionaire yet, at least he's some sort of multi-millionaire and still a playboy.
Yeah.
So this sort of, I mean, but this was something I just realized while you were talking and saying about the emotional thing and the different perspective. I think this movie, and this might actually also explain the like to dislike ratio and all the hype, it's a great display of current societal mood, I think.
Elaborate on that further.
Yes, which means people are, especially these days, very negatively emotional, like depressed. and easily triggered, So I think having Batman being that kind of thing as well works quite well, and people like this because they can resonate with it. Because
am I the only one who sees the parallels between this and the Joker movie, which came out 2 years ago?
Yes, I was thinking of this as well. Yeah, exactly. I think that's just a theme these days. Because this movie is again also very dark, because we cannot have. This is also what I liked about The Dark Knight, even though dark is in the name. It wasn't always fully grim all the time, or the Dark Knight trilogy, I should say. Especially, and even if it just was for Catwoman, who had this, as you said, some sort of comic relief, it didn't feel this. When I watch it, I didn't feel this sort of pressure on me with these heavy emotions. I'm supposed to feel, not that I would do that, but I'm supposed to feel them. And this trailer for me has this kind of idea that, much like Joker, the new Joker, I should say, you are supposed to feel bad for the bad man and feel his deep emotions there and his hurt and all of this.
I can anticipate it's gonna be like a lot of victim mentality and like I lost my parents, and stuff like that. I give you like a different kind of universe. Okay, what would be an interesting take? See him with you watch a trailer, okay? Fucking Robert Pattinson, the fucking playboy, wakes up in the morning with like 10 bitches in his bed. Bruce Wayne, the fuckboy of Gotham City, okay? actually, for the first time, enjoying his actual life, We see him going out in the city nightlife, seducing women, boozing around, going full Wolf of Wall Street, okay? And then it gets interesting. Balance it with this, looking for criminals at night shit. It would be like James Bond, like business with pleasure. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. But this doesn't fit the narrative that all rich people are evil, and they can't put this in the movies.
because like every time I see Batman, it's like, well, it's justice, I have to do it. Like there's no pleasure behind his actions, almost as if he's like acting out of guilt and all that. It's and especially every time there's like a woman, Batman acts like a fucking virgin.
Yes.
Especially also like, you can already tell from the trailer, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense for other superheroes, like for example Spider-Man, who is like essentially a nerd. That's his whole thing, his character. It's like he's awkward around women, and he can learn this shit, of course. Yeah, but Bruce Wayne is a fucking billionaire playboy. He's not shy around women,
if you remember The Dark Knight, he was always. Even though he was weird with Rachel, he still had like these what was it? That Russian ballet group kind of girls he had on his boat.
Yeah.
This kind of thing. So he was definitely well with women to some degree. He was just simping for that one girl. Okay, that's just one thing. But this Batman looks again like he has absolutely no clue what women even are,
right?
Or how they operate. And this is also the scene where she was trying to sort of seduce him, right?
Yeah.
It's so generic, generic. Watching that, I was a bit disappointed.
Also, this fucking cringy shit. Everyone does that nowadays, and I always point it out, but I have to. It pisses me off when they have to sync the gunshots with the fucking dubstep, whatever music they have in the background. I always cringe for some reason. I don't know why. There's something very cringy about it. It's like, wow, look how cool this is. Like everyone freaks out about the last shot. Check out the reactions on Twitter and on the YouTube comments. Everyone is like, oh, the last shot is so cool. Yeah, Inception horns again, like Batman logo. When will this stop, man? Give me a quiet teaser for God's sake. I'll make up my decision if I want to watch that movie or not. You don't have to like shove it into my face. It's like every time it's the same.
But that's again what people are these days. They cannot. We talked about this. Was it the stream before? I don't even know about subtlety in movies.
Yeah, basically
the Matrix trailer, right?
Every stream, basically, what we're doing.
Yeah, and especially like in the Matrix Resurrections trailer, that was very obvious that people cannot deal with subtlety in movies anymore. So they need that.
Absolutely.
Also, it's quite funny reading these comments. This is the Batman we've all been waiting for since the Dark Knight trilogy. Okay. I guess
okay, the last Dark Knight movie came out in 2012, so the last 12 years, the last 10, 11 years didn't make any sense for you, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely
like,
not.
God. Yeah, this is interesting to see. Like, I'm making fun of the fact that there's a new Batman movie coming out every year, but there are actually people waiting for this shit, you know? No one is pointing out like, as for me, I watched the Lord of the Rings movies and they're perfect. If they're ever going to be remade, you just can't make it better. You just can't.
Yeah.
And the same goes for the Dark Knight trilogy. It's like, yeah, someone put in a lot of work and did like of course it's not fucking perfect, but I think the best possible Batman trilogy Batman movies there are. Just let it be, you know. It's just, you're not gonna be better than Nolan. I don't give a fuck who is gonna make this new movie here. It's not gonna be better than Nolan again, you know.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I already had these thoughts when Zack Snyder's version came out, and I was already thinking, okay, why do we need this remade? The Nolan trilogy was so great. Why? Also, especially in this case, I think, because it had the legacy of God, I forgot his name. The Joker. Mm-hmm. What's the actor's name? Why am I
Heath Ledger.
Thank you. God damn, that's embarrassing. Anyway. They had the legacy of him because he died, right? So it was just, this should have not have been touched ever again in all of human society.
Then you get Suicide Squad.
Yes, exactly. I was like, God, that's such a disappointment.
Oh my God.
But to your point there, you're wrong. If you look at how hyped people are for this and how much money you can still make with it.
Yeah. All you gotta do is make a new Batman movie every 3 years, and that's it.
Yeah.
People are gonna be satisfied.
Apparently forever.
Yeah.
Same with Matrix, Star Wars. You know, it's just who needs new movies? Just remake the old ones when the new generation is around, and all is good.
And I think this is the perfect transition to John Wick. Because this is actually a problem of the movies. It started off as, I don't think anyone has planned for these movies to be a, what do we have, like a quintology now? There's gonna be 5 movies definitely, and right now we also dive into spoiler territory. So get the fuck out of here if you haven't seen the movies. So there are definitely gonna be 5 movies, maybe even more. But there's like the 4th movie's coming out next year. The 5th movie's coming out. I don't know when. It was inevitable, of course, because the first movie came out of nowhere. Like there was no. How are you gonna market a movie that hasn't been made before? Of course, we had like revenge movies, revenge kind of movies. You know, it's a very generic story, but I mean, from a technical standpoint, I'm talking about the fighting scenes in John Wick 1.
Yes,
this is not something I have seen ever before. Like it has been made so clean. People were freaking out. Me too. I was watching this and wow. I was watching at the screen. I was not blinking. I was like, wow, this is something new.
You have to think about it. I remember when I watched it the first time, and at some point I was like, dude, there's a lot of bodies in this movie. People being killed. I was like, why am I enjoying this mass murder in this movie so much?
Yeah.
And why am I rooting for the serial killer there, pretty much. And because the story, as we said before we started the stream, is not very deep.
So we talked 30 minutes about the Batman, and I'm glad we did, because maybe we cannot talk that much about John Wick. But the movie kicks off. His dog gets killed. He goes on a revenge mode. That's it. Thank you for listening to Red Smoke. You know that's the movie.
Yeah, that's the whole story.
That's a little bit the question. You know, aside from being a bloodbath, is it any good?
Yes, I think this is probably where Papi Nox will be very helpful again, because this movie is all about style, right?
Right.
And also the second one, even more so. And then we lost it, but that's a different topic. But But for example, if he wasn't wearing suits and the Continental wasn't a thing with all these weird rules, not weird,
Right,
but all
right.
these rules, right? Then this movie wouldn't work as well as it does,
Mm.
because in the end, it's just technically just a lame revenge story
Sure.
of some dude going crazy. That's pretty much it, right? But it has so much style. It's so well, like, so well shot, in my opinion. Not just the choreography from all the fighting, but also like the costumes and even though it's just a suit, but it's all black, you know, and these kind of things, these little details. And there's a lot of details in that whole movie. Oh, the first. I'm just gonna say the first two movies because these I liked, even though the first one is definitely the best one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just gonna ignore the third.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
the style and the visuals have a lot to do with its success, in my opinion.
It's yeah, especially during the action sequences. I mean,
Yeah.
the movie has to have some kind of stuff because it doesn't have any story. It doesn't have any character
Yes.
progress or any sort of that. Every person is just a caricature. Everybody you have seen, like, yeah, the bad mafia boss, the serial killer. It's completely boring if it wasn't for the action scenes, and that's a little bit the question. Is this enough for you? Like, it's an excellent all action film, but is it hard to watch for you because it's essentially like a giant gore fest, right? In many ways, it's I don't know if you're familiar with the Sonny Chiba Street Fighter films from Japan. It's like violent and dedicated to make sure all the victims are indeed dead. That's really important. Like, you always see that. Yeah, to a point, mindless violence. Yeah, well choreographed violence, but not really my sort of film. Is it yours?
Well, I've actually watched it multiple times at this point. Like, it could be about 6 or 7 times, I think. So I do, the first one, I should say. I do very much enjoy this movie, and to this day, I still cannot really pinpoint why. Because technically, just from an objective standpoint, I would think it's a stupid action flick that's done after watching it one time.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what I meant. Yeah, this right, just from the story perspective, or yeah, the basic idea of it, I wouldn't like it, but it still worked for me, and I don't know why. I don't even know if just the style and the design is all there is to it. How to say? But what definitely worked for me and made it a great movie for me is definitely the Continental and how it is set up. That was a big thing for me because I just enjoy this, you know, this nonchalant being in these rooms, in these halls of the Continental, where you don't do business on there, and everything has clear and set rules done by honor or set up by honor. And especially because I really like Ian McShane, such a great actor, and that worked well for me. And I guess that's also part of it.
Yeah.
It's just these you know, these classy guys, pretty much, who run this business. They don't think too much about what it exactly is. They just do it and enjoy doing it. But they have their set rules, which are built on honor, and I just like that. There's a lot of masculinity in there, so I guess that's why.
Absolutely, I have to get back again to Reeves' performance here because you were mentioning the topic of masculinity, and he's a man in his 50s now, and I guess with age came a certain masculinity that works very well in this film here.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have worked if he was like still this baby face from Speed or from The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
he needs a little bit of edge, and it works very well, I gotta say.
It does, yeah. That's a great point, actually. If he were much younger, like 20 years younger, it would have been weird, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like the young sort of serial killer, nah. He does have this sort of... Like, he is even a little bit grumpy, that John Wick, isn't he?
Well, that's the problem. I cannot even say he's grumpy. He's nothing. He's like a blank slate. He just goes around killing people. He has no character whatsoever. No character progression. Nothing. He just goes on like, okay, they fucking killed my dog. I'm gonna go on a rampage now. I'm gonna kill everyone.
I mean, what you also have to say that worked very well, I just remembered, is especially when you watch it for the first time, and it was a completely new movie, and the John Wick character, quote unquote, but that persona, was built up very well. Like everyone
Oh
said,
yeah.
you killed John Wick's dog, and you think, okay, who is this guy? Why is everyone afraid of him? Why does the police even help him? All this kind of stuff. So there was some great build-up of tension in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I guess that worked very well for it also.
Totally agree. Totally good. They built him up so much, and then in the end, or in the first scene, I think that's when the people come into his house and he just like kills everyone. He lives up to that. He completely lives up to that, and everyone is like, "Oh yeah, no shit." Everyone is. It's what Poppy Knox said in the Red Smoke Green Room on Telegram. He said, "I didn't actually have to see him use the pencil, which you're about to see in the second movie, right?"
Yeah.
Which also pissed me off a lot.
Yes.
Because I really liked, like, everyone was telling the tale. Every gangster mob boss was saying, "Oh, you know, he just killed like 3 people with a pen." I didn't really have to see this. Yeah, I agree with Poppy Knox. It's really like, but okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been much better if it was just this tale of old times. But we had to see it, right? Because people wanted to see it, I guess, some sort of fan service or whatever. But I didn't like that at all. Yeah.
The question we have to ask is, I'm gonna of course refer to other action movies as well for comparison, but is there a problem that, okay, it could be a hot take, tell me what you think. Is it a problem that Wick is a little bit too much of a badass in this movie? Do you get the idea, or is it completely realistic in your opinion?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's too much of a badass.
What I mean is, it's a little bit stupid for me to say, is it too much of a badass? What I mean is, at no point did I feel like he was in real danger. You know, even after receiving like a gash to the stomach, the size of my fist, and like taking a severe beating. Wick makes Liam Neeson in Taken look like a pussy, man. He escapes every situation. It's as you don't see pain in his face. You don't see him feel pain. It's hard to feel the genuine sense of excitement knowing that our hero of the story, I know he's a ruthless killer, but he can't be called a hero. He's virtually indestructible, you know.
Yeah, he is. He's some sort of god.
Yeah,
he just can't be killed.
He's starting to believe.
Yes. Yeah, but that's also the thing that always makes it difficult for me to actually feel for the protagonist when they are in some sort of, you know, the scene when they actually catch him in the first movie,
right,
and put this plastic bag over his head trying to kill him right there, and I was like, yeah, okay, he's not gonna die. So there is some sort of tension lacking. This also happens in TV shows a lot, when the main character is in this sort of situation and you just know there's another season coming.
That's the problem. Why do you fucking announce John Wick and 4 and 5 already?
Yes, that's stupid.
People gonna watch the 4th movie. There's no tension at all. You just know John Wick's gonna make it. It's really stupid. Yeah.
I guess it's just some more violence porn then
here's the problem. From my perspective, and I'm gonna refer to Predator later as well because this is another good example, but it's a little bit different. From my perspective, there's only one reason to watch a picture like this, and that is to simply escape reality altogether.
Yeah.
Get your thrills to, like, it's an impossible escapade of the film's hero, you know. And I don't mean this like to be a put down, you know. I enjoy these flicks myself, and you do as well, right? If I'm in the right frame of mind, and like, yeah, okay, but I don't pretend they're anything more than over the top shoot 'em up action heroes. They, you know, that's I'm split. I'm saying it's an awesome movie, but.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, I mean, I watched it many times, and I still think it's a great movie. And you can rewatch it, even though the build-up is sort of not happening anymore then, because you know who he is.
Yeah.
But still, if we're being honest, it's this kind of movie you throw in if you don't really know what to watch. You just want to have something run there, and maybe it's Netflix and chill or whatever. So you just throw it in and don't really care about the story or the movie itself.
I don't want to see anyone doing Netflix and chill with that movie, man.
I don't know. I mean... Maybe it works.
Go with Twilight, everyone who's listening.
Oh, yeah,
it works way better.
Yeah.
But like a little bit more plot development and a little bit, I would say, less action, less mindless action, and it's kind of been a good movie, you know. It's
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
look, it is beautifully choreographed and all that, but almost a little bit too perfect. Like I watched this movie, especially. I don't know if you remember, like they're in the second or third movie. There's like stuff going on where they are in a room full of mirrors, and then in the third movie they have this fight with like knives and all this stuff. And all I can think about is, wow, they took a lot of weeks to like rehearse that and like learn this choreography. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. it's so crazy.
I agree. This whole mirror scene was actually very boring to me, to be honest.
The ending.
Second movie, yeah.
The ending of the second movie. Very. Yes. It took too long.
Yes, that took too long. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like I don't want.
Weird thing.
Yeah, I don't want to bash this. I don't want to bash this movie. I don't want to
exactly.
make it sound bad. You know.
That's my issue, because right now we're looking at it from a very objective standpoint. Obviously, just thinking about what makes it good, and I cannot explain exactly why I truly enjoy this movie.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's the weird thing.
That's weird. I mean, that's a bit the question. Would you say you are a person who is pleased when he sees high level of violence in a movie?
No. Actually, that's, for example, something I didn't like about Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. Just to bring that back, because all the rape and all the gore and all of this. I didn't need it. I understood that back in the days, the Middle Ages were tough times. I didn't need to see all of it. Mm-hmm. And I actually didn't like this about Game of Thrones, even though I know people were rooting for it and all the boobs and all of it, But in John Wick, for some reason, it works, and I don't know why. I mean, it could be a bit less, and I would still be fine with it. But, yeah, I don't know. Then again, without the action scenes, it would be very boring. Oh,
absolutely, I agree.
Toned down a whole lot, yeah.
I agree, yeah.
What do you think? Would you like it with less action?
No, I like action. I also like violence. I like to see blood in movies. I really like it. I also like the violence in Game of Thrones. We are a little bit different there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also like boobs. Don't get me wrong. But I also like give me both at the same time, and I'm a happy person. Yeah, and, my God, you get a lot of blood and gore in John Wick. It's very brutal. It's not a fucking family movie, by God. Very brutal, but nevertheless, I was left feeling a bit empty. In fact, I was hoping that Wick would die at the end of the first movie, to be reunited with his wife and with his doggo, and but seeing there's already a John Wick 2, the chance of happening seemed quite low. So yeah, it's
now we get 5 movies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also, if you think about this whole idea that he was a very, very successful, super powerful kind of serial killer everyone was afraid of. And then he decided to drop out because of this girl. And this then keeps haunting him forever. But then, at some point, which, it already happened in the first movie, right? When he says, "I think I'm back." He just dropped it very quickly, didn't he? he's getting out of this whole thing. Then the second movie, he tries to be out of it again, but isn't. So, yeah.
It's just very
weird. Yeah, seeking some depth in these movies is probably a mistake, because it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, but if we as humans are designed to seek depth in all kinds of... We need purpose, You talk about this in your programs all the time. It's the first and most important thing to start off anything. I need, purpose. And that's a little bit the tricky stuff, because I also don't get it why I enjoy this movie. I can watch it multiple times and I'm not bored, which happens in many action movies. I get bored, but I don't get bored watching this movie. But is this... I put the words revenge porn on the thumbnail, and if there's nothing more than just violence and action scenes and all that, is that just porn? I just watch something because it looks nice. There's no depth behind it. I'm not learning anything. I'm not saying every piece of media you consume, it should be some super deep Franz Kafka philosophical shit. And it's I learned something. Okay, it could be okay. Like go into the cinema, escape reality for a bit, but that's it. Then you don't get anything out of these movies.
Yeah.
It's just action. And for example, the catharsis was a little bit better in Predator. We talked about Predator before, and
Yes.
in Predator you learn a little bit about. I wouldn't say learn, but you get aware of how humans operate. You get the themes of like survival instincts and all this stuff. You know, it's very interesting to
Yeah.
see. Like there's some kind of message behind that. But behind John Wick, they really had this pitch meeting, and it's like, yeah, we're doing the best choreographed like stunts and action scenes, and that's it. People gonna love it, and they do. There are actually quite a handful of reasons why John Wick could have become a failure.
Yes.
For example, the two directors have never made a film before, and they have almost exclusively worked in the stunt department so far. So, props to Hollywood for being brave.
Yeah.
For 2014, this was already rare. Nowadays, almost impossible. The writer is not exactly experienced either. Lead actor Keanu Reeves is... Look, now we all see him as John Wick, but before that movie came out,
Yes.
I would really like to know how many people would actually see him as this realistic portrayal of this gritty, badass character. You know?
Yes, I said, because I think after 47 Ronin, he also got a lot of shit for that, because people said, yeah, well, he didn't make any sort of great movies after The Matrix anymore. Even though, for example, Constantine, I think, was a great movie.
True.
But there was so the general, at least what I got from it, was the general consensus on Keanu Reeves. So I guess maybe at that point he thought, well, let's just do this John Wick thing, maybe it does something. Maybe that was his thought process there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting that this movie even was made at all with that sort of setup.
Yeah. And as much as this might sound as I'm contradicting myself, but I believe this is the reason why it became a good film. It does not try to attempt to be anything of a great cinematic value. It does not try to teach any groundbreaking stories on morale, loyalty, betrayal, all this shit. I believe that's what makes the movie good. But still, I stand with it. The first movie. The rest, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I guess the reason is also because that dude who, because you said the director was mostly from stunt work. He just took what he does best, which is doing stunts and choreography and fights and all of this, and put this in the movie, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
So I guess that's why it works. That's what he does best, and fine. I, for one, would have really enjoyed to see at least a little bit of character development from John Wick.
Yeah.
Especially in the second movie, if we even get this, then at least something that makes him think about what he even does with his life, or does he really want to get back into this whole thing? At least something, like a little bit.
Yeah, I put it in the description of this video. So what I've written in the description is, they killed his dog, he took a revenge, story ends, right? That's it. We went full circle. He comes back from retirement to do one last job, fucks everyone, and then story ends. Yeah, if maybe he survives in the end, maybe not. Give me an open end sort of thing, where the last frame he's just looking at his iPhone, looking at his wife, footage from his wife, and then okay, the story ends, and then we as the audience can say, hey, was it all worth it? Stuff like that. I don't know, shit like that. But then
something in that direction.
Yeah, but then Hollywood saw that it was making money, so and then I've written purposefully, they gave him a reason to go on Rampage again. It's really something that I don't like about the character of John Wick, because he's the absolute epitome of a passive character. John Wick is not doing anything active in this movie. He might do something in John Wick 4 and 5, so given the ending of John Wick 3, if you remember it by any chance. I had to reread it at least, what happens there, because I have but the thing is, John Wick itself as a character, he's a very, very passive character. there's always has to happen something, some kind of trigger, and then he's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna do this now. You know.
Yes.
John Wick doesn't have any ambitions, doesn't have any goals in his life. He just reacts to shit. You know. Someone pisses him off. Someone damages his car. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck this person up. You know.
Yeah, and killed 1,000 people in the process. It's also what I really didn't like about the second was the whole setup of his revenge there, because he didn't do that.
He had this. He has this depth, some kind of so very confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, because he's apparently a man of honor, right? Especially as a member of the Continental, they all are like even taught to be that way, and he's been that all the time, and he's very about justice and all of this, because when people do shit to him, he goes crazy.
Yeah.
But then he declines helping that man because for some reason he's out. But then what is he doing in his life right now? He doesn't have his wife anymore. He doesn't have his dog. He doesn't have his job. He's just sitting around or what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like that at all. The whole setup for the second movie, even though I like the style and all of it, okay. But the setup from the story, again, was kind of stupid.
And that's what I mean. How can I be invested in a kind of character like that who doesn't have any ambitions in life? You know?
Yes.
I mean,
you're
okay,
very right. He just reacts to everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't even act at some point.
Give him like some kind of ambition, like, okay, I want to go to a fucking beach in Mexico with my dog and just like build a bar there. Stuff like that. I don't know. Like, give him anything.
Yeah.
Just exists. He just exists and kills people. It's so boring when you think about it. Of course, it looks super cool. It's super nice, but it's fucking boring. The plot is meaningless. And it just gets worse in the second movie. See, what makes the original great is like it's like I said, even though it might sound contradicting, is that it is simple.
Yes.
You have this. It's almost like a poetic motivation of John Wick. Yeah, like they fucked up my dog, the last remaining thing of my wife. I'm gonna fuck them up, you know. Okay, I understand. And here's the problem: the sequel could not possibly repeat that. They cannot kill off another dog, you know.
Yes.
It's just that there is nothing left of him. You could say, the character of John Wick is completely empty now. He doesn't have anything that connects him to his former life. Keanu Reeves remains the same. There's more fighting. The plot is almost meaningless. It's all action and all Wick. That's the second movie for me.
Yeah, it is.
Huh?
I don't even remember how it ended, to be honest. All right, with that mirror scene. All right.
Yeah, like the mirror scene, and then I believe the second movie ends with there's a bounty on his head.
Oh, right.
I remember the third movie starts off with, okay, John Wick, you have 1 hour until everyone is gonna try to kill you. Some shit like that, you know.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because I remember now that you say it, Ian McShane's character, I forgot his name. He tells him in the end of the second movie that he gets a 1 hour lease because there is this bounty on his head for what he did. And then he just runs. I think that's the ending of the second movie. Yeah, and I mean, yeah. So I guess that's his purpose, just reacting to people doing shit to him.
Yeah, and I'm imagining like what the writing department did, because like, oh yeah, this was so successful, we need to do more John Wick movies. Like, okay, what are we gonna do? The story is told, and like Hollywood just comes up to him and is like, give him a reason to come back.
Yes,
just give him a reason to kick ass again. Just come up with something. It just smells like that.
Yeah, also, but in the second movie, it was really just his own decision that made the shit happen. Because he decided to not be honor or to not honor that mark or whatever it was, that coin thingy with his blood on it.
Yeah.
This debt he had. He just said, nah, fuck that. I'm out of it now. Which he wasn't, because in the first movie he said he thinks he's back. So he actually lied.
Yeah.
And then he decided, okay, I'm not going to do this. Then he blows up his house, then he's pissed, and then he goes on a rampage.
Also, this fucking blood medallion thing. They go full Pirates of the Caribbean for
yeah.
I gotta say, like, I still enjoyed the second movie. I've been in the cinema. The second movie I've been in the cinema. The third movie I've been in the cinema as well. I told you, it's been one of the last movies I've actually seen there. And we're still in the second movie now, and I found myself, I still remember, watching it more. I might repeat myself here, but watching it more passively than I had with the first film, and the sense of being like detached I think it comes from a couple places. Of course, what I mentioned, like the first was that the plot just did not seem as organic as the first. Like the violence, the violence that draws Wick, and the whole movie is about violence. The violence that draws Wick deeper seems to occur just for the sake of making the film happen, which is of course true, but it doesn't try to hide it. And this reduces like the whole investment, all the stakes, rather than being drawn in. I just sort of accepted it while watching the movie because I know where it was going, and it draws me out of the experience.
Yeah, it did. And this is also why it got increasingly worse, I think, because you just knew that after the first one, the story was actually told, quote unquote story, because there wasn't much, but it was done. But then it kept coming, and the third movie was even worse. I don't even remember what the reason was why he was going on there. I guess the bounty on his head, yeah. Yeah, okay, whatever. But, you're right. The first one is still, for some reason, you can still watch it, right? True. Even the second...
It's a great standalone movie. Just end right there at the end. It's okay.
Yes, they should have just ended. But they couldn't because there was money involved. And now we get 5 movies. Yeah. And I can just imagine what the 4th will be. Someone blows something up again. And then he's mad. Or something with the Continental. No, you actually said in the green room that there will be a prequel to the Continental.
Yeah, and Mel Gibson is going to be in it. I'm gonna totally watch that.
That's interesting, man.
Oh my god!
I hope they don't replace Ian McShane's character with Mel Gibson there, because I won't like that.
Well, as far as I know, the series is gonna take place 30 years before. It's gonna be like a prequel series which explains the origins of this whole Continental shit, and Ian McShane's character is probably very young there.
Yeah, that's true. Do we know who's writing that?
No.
Damn. Because if it's that stunt guy, I don't expect much. And especially with something like the Continental, I would like to have some deep story about that.
Yeah, see, here's the problem. That's the second thing that kept me out of John Wick 2. It was the lack of investment. Like I'm talking about the film's lack of realism. Because in the first movie we have this very vague idea of what the Continental is. We the way people interact in this movie is like, hey, you're working again? Yeah. That's the interaction, And your mind, your fantasy fills in the gaps like, oh my god, what kind of fucked up society is that, man? Like, And I could still buy that. Of course, it's a fucking Hollywood movie. It's complete bullshit. But I can still buy it to an extent. And I don't need the film to be like a kitchen sink drama, but to me, the second movie, and especially the third movie, oh my god, the film just couldn't sell the world to me. In the first, like I said, I could go with this shadowy world and all cool, and the idea, like the own rules developed and all this stuff. Everyone is a hired killer. Okay, it's a little bit bullshit, but
but it works in that scenario. And, like not doing business on the continental grounds and all of this. That's just a cool line, and because it's also being enforced in the end, so you actually see why it's so important to follow the rules. Okay, I get it. I buy this for the movie, even though I know it's bullshit. Yeah, but then you're absolutely right. In the second and third, it's like, especially with these blood medallions. I was like, dude, how do we even get in this kind of debt? Because if that's the case, then I guess Viggo from the first movie should have had some sort of blood medallion as well. Or the other way around for John.
Totally,
I don't even know.
Totally. Very weird, man.
You just notice, especially with this kind of thing, they had to do something. They had to give him something to have another reason to go on a rampage again.
And it's gonna be so interesting, like... let's jump into chapter 3, which is called Parabellum, whatever the fuck that means.
I think that's Latin for war is coming. I remember looking this up, I think.
You're right. I remember my this thing. Oh, para is the imperative of prepare. And bellum is war. Hello, man. So let's see.
Well done.
Educational red smoke. Oh my god. Awesome. I did not see that. Very cool. Oh. Oh, now the ending makes sense. Now the ending makes sense. But I don't know if you remember the ending.
I don't actually.
So the movie kicks off. John Wick has killed someone in the Continental at the end of the second movie. You remember that, right? So
Yes.
what happens is he gets like this 40 million bounty on his head, and he has 1 hour to prepare. Then everybody on the planet just wants to kill him. And I don't know, some weird shit happens in between. I just remember Halle Berry has like 2 dogs. They're
Yes.
fighting with her. Why is this the only thing I remember out of this movie? I've been in the cinema. When I'm in the cinema, I remember movies. I tend to remember them.
I didn't actually recognize Halle Berry at first, to be honest, in that movie. I was like, who's that? Oh, right, it's that Bond girl. But
Yeah.
she was.
Oh my god. And like I said, I don't fucking remember what's going on in this movie. Some fucking bullshit again. And then in the end, he teams up with Morpheus. I don't know if you remember that.
Right, the guy with the birds.
Right, the pigeon guy.
Yeah, the pigeon guy, exactly.
And as far as I remember, I really remember the last scene, because you know this whole thing, like this whole Continental thing, it's called like the High Table, some sort of that, right?
Something like that.
And then Morpheus comes up to him because John Wick apparently loses a finger in this movie. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
he does.
that.
I remember this scene in this tent in somewhere in this desert.
Right.
You know.
Right. And John Wick starts to be really pissed off about all of this, and he's like, "Okay, I'm done with all of that." But he doesn't say it. He again needs to be told what to do. And then in the final scene, Morpheus just comes up to him and says, "Hey, aren't you also pissed off about the High Table? Should we like just take it down? Should we just take it all down?" And then John Wick just looks at him and is like, "Yeah." And then the movie ends, you know. So now I get why the movie's called Parabellum. So it's just like a setup for, yeah. So it looks like John Wick is gonna take down the whole Continental and all this kind of bullshit there.
Okay. Good.
So yeah, which started off. This all could have avoided if this Russian guy didn't want to take his fucking
Yes.
car. It goes like
wasn't
fucking
pissed
war.
about buying that
Yeah.
Mustang. Yeah.
It's so stupid, yeah, and yeah, which started off as a very simple revenge story. It ended in a fucking Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. It's really crazy. We have like
I
galactic
think to
war.
watch it.
I'm gonna send you a reminder every week.
Yes, every time.
Oh my god, yeah. Like I said, they have already announced John Wick 4 and 5, which means even if we were concerned about the character, I know for a fact that he's not going to die in the next movie, which completely, we lose the stakes completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming out in May, right? It says here.
Mm-hmm.
It's an upcoming American neo-noir action thriller film. Okay.
Everything is neo-noir nowadays.
Yes,
man. Also,
it
the
is.
new Batman movie is also neo-noir.
Yeah.
It's, the new Star Wars movie was also neo-noir. It's all neo-noir, man.
Everything, yeah.
Jesus, man. Yeah.
So there's nothing about the plot, though, which I was guessing, but...
Yeah, I mean, you can only guess. It's... Yeah. I don't know. I cannot even tell if they're gonna stop after the 5th movie. Bro, it's gotta be the new Fast and Furious shit.
Look at this, man. He said, actually, Keanu Reeves said himself, he told GQ that he would carry on the role of John Wick as long as the audience wanted it. God damn it. So this will be going on forever. Because the audience will always have this, especially the diehard fans. They don't care. They just want more John Wick. And then they're gonna just make up things for him to be mad about.
It reminds me a little bit of the former James Bond movies. I'm talking pre-Daniel Craig era. They just have like a new adventure every time. You don't have any continuous story, and of course, James Bond's not gonna fucking die in the end. So there are no real stakes. Yeah, of course, it's cool and girls and guns and all this shit.
Yeah, I remember this when was it Pierce Brosnan era? Was that pretty much it, right?
I fucking love the Pierce Brosnan movies, and it's basically that's what it is. We have new adventures, not interconnected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was going to say that because I liked it as well. I mean, I knew what I was getting myself into when I watched these movies. I knew it's just Bond and he won't die and there will be women and cool Aston Martins and that's pretty much it. And action, of course. I knew what I was getting into and I liked that. It was fine.
And here's the problem: the newer John Wick movies, they try to be more than that.
Yes,
that's wrong. They now try to do like this interconnected story, which, everything has a reason. Wait, let me just open up Telegram because I really liked what Puppy Knox said. Now we get to find out why he drives muscle cars, why he wears suits, why his hair is long, shit like that. It's all gonna be explained. All questions that no one has ever asked, and those movies are now trying to be more. It's the same shit that happened with the Daniel Craig era. I know you're not familiar with it, but it's the same thing that happened. You had a very, very good first movie. Casino Royale is probably my favorite movie from all James Bond movies. But then it just went completely downhill because they were trying to do like a continuous story, and the strength in James Bond, John Wick, those kind of movies, Mission Impossible, if you want to count that as well, is they're good like standalone films.
Yeah,
and that's like you said something very interesting. You watch a Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie, you just know what you can expect. Yes. You're not going to go and say, John Wick is going to go to war now, fucking take down the whole galaxy. No. You're just going to watch it. He's going to kick ass. That's it.
Exactly. I would actually like John Wick, or like 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, if it would just have been certain things he did in his career as serial killer. And then that's it. That's the whole story. Just a standalone movie of something that happened back then or happens now. I don't even know. And this is just the story of that quote-unquote story of that movie, and that's fine. Then I know, much like in the old Bond movies, okay, that's what I'm getting. It's just another John Wick, and he's kicking ass. Fine. But trying to make this all a real trilogy or quintology or whatever, it's just like that's just trying too hard.
Yeah, it's like people are gonna be like, when this movie comes out in cinemas, people are gonna be like, "Hey, come on, let's go to the cinema and watch Keanu Reeves do some fancy brutal shit, kick ass,"
Yeah,
I don't see anyone going, I want to know what's going on with the story. I want to know how this whole thing. I'm just gonna watch Keanu Reeves kick ass. This is why I'm gonna go into the cinema. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly.
So the question is this wrong?
That's a good question.
Like if you look, I'm trying to empathize with your situation. You're doing a lot of like, you help a lot of people. You're coaching a lot of people. So if someone comes up to you, like in your group or privately, and he says, "Hey, I want to improve my life. Are these movies going to help me? Is this gonna be something I get value of?" What would you reply? Like, I just want to watch some mindless action. Is this like, do you endorse this, or do you like demonize it, or is it something in between?
No, I would say, it's something in between a little bit. I would say, like, if you've done your whatever you wanted to do today, your to-do list, and then you want to reward yourself, then you watch that. That's fine. Sure. Because then it's just gonna unwind a bit and just relax, watch that clip or that movie rather, and that's fine. And yes, there is a little bit of masculinity in it, as I mentioned before, not in what John Wick really does, because it's really just trying to get justice for what happened to him. I don't think this has much to do with anything, but the whole continental basic idea, I would say, the basic idea, not that blood medallion bullshit, but the basic idea of how these people operate there with honor and integrity and following their own rules, pretty much. This is I like. But I wouldn't use this as some sort of coaching basis or whatever.
It's like there's not much to work with, right?
Yeah.
You cannot even like analyze like any quotes or anything. It's just like the only quotes in there are just like badass quotes, like killed 3 people with a pen. I would say like the only serious dangerous thing about this movie, like there's just some kick-ass stuff if you're into that. Okay, I would say the most dangerous thing is, I don't know if you remember it, I believe it was in the second movie where John Wick has a fight on the subway. You probably don't remember because I don't as well. It's either in the second or the third movie. He has a fight on a subway,
Okay.
and
No, I don't remember actually.
I was rewatching.
Oh, yes, you're right. No, I remember. Okay.
It's with this black bald guy,
Yes.
you know, yeah, and he's kind of letting him live. And I was rewatching this scene on YouTube. I was like, yeah, let's look at some best scenes so I refresh my memory. I was watching it like some movie clips thing, you know, this channel on YouTube. I was watching it, and I think, okay, it's a fight on the subway, and I like people using the subway every morning to get to their shitty job, and it's really boring. You know, just look at boring people. Now they can sit there, fantasize about how everyone is a trained assassin, and you know, the world is more than it is. I can totally see people doing that. I just wanted to point out that this is like not something you should actually fantasize about, because it's a fucking bullshit movie. That's what it is.
Yeah, also, if this were really the case, these people who fantasize about this would be the first one to run. It's always the keyboard warriors who talk big, and then would be the first one, if like an actual war would break out, to run away from.
Yeah, but I can totally see why many people like this. Also, the world building with this whole continental. It's like, yeah, the world is fucking boring. Going to your 9-to-5 job in the subway is fucking boring.
Yeah, of course.
You're daydreaming, and it's like, oh, imagine like I can save some people here, and everything goes crazy, like fighting and all this stuff. Sure. I like to fantasize that there's more in the world there is as well. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's also this sort of curiosity and hidden thing that maybe there is something, this hidden sort of continental group or whatever. Doing that, there's some sort of curiosity in that. What if that's true, though? You know, what if this person sitting next to me on the subway is an actual trained assassin?
Yeah.
Also,
I get what you mean. However,
personally, I wouldn't like that, but I guess I see why people would fantasize about this.
I simply wanted to get like we don't have much time left, but there's like one question I want to ask again. It has to do with the aspect of, is this movie realistic, and what would your point of view be? You can refer to just the first John Wick movie or to all three. Would you say this is like a realistic portrayal of how things go?
No.
I'm not talking about like the continental and all this stuff, but talking about like the fight scene.
Everything.
Yeah.
I would say no, because I remember one specific scene that actually drew me a little bit out of the movie. It wasn't the first one. Yeah, when they're fighting in that club, and he falls down from the top stairs on the dance floor, and he just gets up and walks away. You know.
Yeah.
You would have at least broke parts of your ribs or whatever. And apparently he has a rib broken or something, I don't know. But just, he's this superhuman kind of god figure who just doesn't die. And many other things. I wouldn't say it's realistic, no.
Yeah, there's an endless lack of consequence in it. Like I said,
Yes.
it makes it hard to stay engaged with it. The ending of John Wick 3, I don't know if you remember, it's just the icing on the cake. John Wick surviving, falling like several stories from the roof of a building. I don't know if you remember that, because I was in the cinema and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's the end. He died." And I was like, "Oh no, he's still alive." And then he ends up in fucking Morpheus cave, whatever.
Oh god.
Yeah, but there's also like, it's hard to connect it to the real world, because seeing people stabbed in a busy train station, for example. And just see people just walking by without a reaction. It makes it hard for me to see this as realistic. Just walking around like NPCs. And I get it, yeah, people are like interconnected with their phones. They're not like looking up and all stuff, but it's so obvious. Like you see John Wick blooding all over, and it's no one notices at all.
Yeah, I also think, and this is something actually that usually triggers me in these kind of movies. I shouldn't say trigger, but it annoys me a little bit. That because for me, if I watch a movie like John Wick, I believe it is set up in the real world. It's not some like if I watch Star Wars, I know they can jump down buildings and up buildings and whatever, or even some superhero movie like Marvel or whatever. I get it; they have some sort of gamma rays or whatever. Okay, that's the idea. Fine, but John Wick is set in the real world, at least to some degree. So I would have at least a little bit of realism in there, like the pain he feels or the injuries he gets. At least that,
Yeah.
at least a little bit something, and that he's not just a superhuman who can take everything and doesn't care.
Yeah, superhuman is a good point. It's like in terms of the fight sequences, like I said, it's really cool what they did, and it looks really nice. It looks so smooth, really. It looks so. I could watch like those fucking fight scenes for hours because it's so well done, but
Yeah.
it does feel a bit bloated and overlong.
Yeah. Also, here's another thought I just had. For
Sure.
example, 300, right? One of my
Yes,
favorite
yes.
movies. And not just the fact that it's a comic adaptation, but it's also a real story, right? But you would guess that from back in the past, this real story was probably exaggerated to some degree. And because King Leonidas and all these Spartans in there are very unkillable as well, right? What they can take is just also not realistic in the movie. But I understand it's this idea of that story that they are almost superhuman warriors, right? So it makes sense in that scenario. But for John Wick again, it's sort of set in the real world, so it doesn't make sense in my opinion.
That's a bit the question. The movie doesn't want to, because you see like footage from like real world places, like real train stations, and there are people walking around, but the people walking around there, they don't feel real. You know, I keep being reminded of. Do you remember the train scene in Spider-Man 2, where Tobey Maguire is trying to stop the train, and you constantly see reactions from the people inside the train. It's like, oh my god, this is like just a little boy, and hey, can't you like make the train stop? You just feel, I am in fucking New York City right now, and here's the funny thing: this fucking train station, it wasn't even filmed in New York City, but it still feels more realistic, you know, because you get reactions from people, and in the John Wick universe, there are only NPCs.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like if they give this a little bit more of a realistic edge, like people actually reacting to it everywhere. Whenever shit goes down in a club or in a train station, the people are quiet as fuck, and that's not realistic. People would react to that. Someone would like take their fucking phone out and record a fight.
Exactly.
That's what people do. That's what people do, and I want to see that more. It would make it seem more realistic. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's lacking a little bit, but then again, for some reason, it still works. Probably because we sort of just filter that out.
Still, like I said, it's a little bit nitpicking, of course. It's
of course, but that's how we do.
Of course, yeah. Always trying Red Smoke. Always trying to find the negatives in all that. No, you know what I want to do? I want to talk about Shawshank Redemption. And I want us to find something we hate about this movie. We're gonna be the first podcast who's gonna find something bad about this movie. I'm calling it now. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe.
Yeah. No, but I think the first movie at least gets our full recommendation, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Still a great movie, absolutely. Regardless of the nitpicking we just did for all 1 hour. Still a great movie, yes.
Absolutely. Okay, Alex, I believe I know the answer already, but do you anything else precious to the Red Smoke audience?
Yes!
Oh, right, yeah, that's actually something.
No, I was lying.
Oh, okay, man.
I should think of something for next time to actually some sort of deep insight.
Yeah.
You know,
Look, I skipped coming up with a good intro, but now I have found a very good outro. It's like I always asking you a question, which you're always gonna answer with no. Oh, I love this podcast. Okay, guys, gonna be next week. Maybe with the Shawshank Redemption, maybe something else. But whatever it is, we're always gonna find something to nitpick. That's what we are. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. And we're gonna be back next week, and hope to see you soon again. So have a nice Thursday.